WNBA Finals. And so I'll leave it there. I mean, I'm just obviously disheartened. I'm a human too. I have a family. I have 2 kids who are devastated by these comments. And so all I'll say is just, it's up.
Everyone assumed she would simply accept it, smile for the cameras, and bide her time. They believed that Caitlin Clark would be appreciative simply to be in the building. I'm happy to learn from the legends while seated at the end of the bench. However, it appears that the WNBA overreached its biggest star. The repercussions are now coming in like a wave of titles. According to reports, the Golden Girl of women's basketball has reportedly told insiders that she is done with Team USA and has formally drawn a line in the sand. The most bizarre aspect was that it wasn't only the players ejecting her. It seems that Kathy Angel-Berg, the commissioner, may have unintentionally supported the poisonous atmosphere that resulted in this startling choice. The story is changed from her waiting her turn to her leaving. The league is likely to lose its most valuable asset on the global stage if the rumors are accurate. It all began with what many consider to be the biggest roster error in sports history, a choice that influenced everything that came after. The one name that was creating a lot of buzz, selling out venues, and driving TV ratings over the roof was nowhere to be found when the Team USA lineup for Paris was revealed. Claiming that Clark had not yet paid her dues and that the team needed veteran chemistry to win the gold, the selecting committee ducked behind the justification of experience. But let's face it, no one bought that for a single second. It had a personal feel. Before she even set foot on the court, the powers that be chose to sit her for the entire summer, despite the fact that everyone was watching her trademark threes and spectacular assists. The youngster received a clear, loud message. You could become well known. Even though you're wealthy, you're still not one of us. However, that insult was only the beginning. If excluding her off the roster was a cold shoulder, what happened in the league after the game began was an outright attack. It was open season on Clark from the moment the season took off. We witnessed blindside hip checks, most famously the one involving Chanity Carter that knocked Clark to the ground before the ball was even in play. We witnessed constant physical targeting, face guarding, and hard fees that went much beyond typical basketball competition. However, it wasn't just the athletes who were doing it. From the top, it was the deafening silence. It appeared as though the league administration was indifferent to their rookie phenomenon being hazed on national television. They declined to sanction players right away. They allowed the story to get out of control and postponed upgrading poultry to flagrants until the public outcry became too loud to ignore. This lack of defense culminated in an event that altered everything. Commissioner Kathy Angel-Berg intervened and fanned the flames just as it appeared that things were going to calm down. She attempted to minimize the animosity aimed at Clark in a recent interview on CNBC that can only be characterized as a PR nightmare by drawing comparisons to the rivalry between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird of the Eights. She talked about marketing valuation and how important this rivalry was to the league's business, while sitting there grinning. She completely failed to denounce the real, dark clouds of prejudice and hatred that had been looming over the sportsmen and their fan base. It was a huge mistake. She effectively confirmed Clark's feelings of loneliness by viewing the hostility and physical targeting as just another economic indication to be exploited. It makes it quite evident that the league is more interested in the drama and the money than in the players' safety and mental health. The commissioner's remarks sparked a swift and intense backlash. The WNBA Players Association, which typically supports the league's expansion, was forced to release a statement distancing itself from Inglebert's viewpoint. Players like Nafi Sakalir and Breanna Stewart had to speak up and say what the commissioner would not. Hate has no place in sports. However, the harm was probably already done for Clark. Imagine being the employee who brings in record profits, charter flights for everyone, and significant TV deals, only to have your manager appear on national television and claim that the individuals who are criticizing you are only beneficial to the company. That is the type of betrayal that causes someone to reconsider their allegiance. And that's precisely where the rumors about quitting are coming from. It is impossible to discuss this situation without addressing the elephant in the room, the old guard's ingrained resentment, the same legends, the same group of friends who've played together for more than 10 years, have dominated Team USA for years. For months, There have been rumors that some elder players expressed their want to avoid the Caitlyn circus upsetting their unity in Paris.
It was more than just basketball fitness.
It has to do with the spotlight. Clark will face the truth, as Diana Taurasi famously warned. This comment did not hold up well as Clark went on to lead the league in assists and shatter rookie records. The veterans believed they were defending their culture and the sanctity of their locker rooms by barring her from competing in the Olympics. Alternatively, they might have just demolished the link to the next generation. Granted, they won the gold, but they lost the PR battle and turned off the millions of new viewers who had just tuned in to see number 22. At this point, the plot undergoes a dramatic, long-lasting change. Insider rumors and fresh conjecture suggest that Clark isn't merely lamenting the loss of the aircraft to Paris while lounging at home. It is said that she is trying to protect her own brand. Rumor has it that Clark has chosen to divert her attention from the Hugh national program after being benched by the Olympic Committee, brutally attacked by her peers, and left unprotected by the commissioner. It's an extremely powerful move. She is aware that she creates the ratings. She is aware that she is the main driver of ticket sales and jersey sales. She doesn't need Team USA if they don't want her. She is aware that she is currently greater than the badge. According to rumors, she has discreetly stated that if the current culture persists, she has no interest in accepting invitations in the future. There will be severe repercussions if this walkout is genuine. We are discussing the possibility of the sport's face declining to represent the nation due to lack of support and league politics. It completely flips the roles. The WNBA and Team USA relied on the idea that athletes require the system in order to thrive, and that the ultimate motivation to dangle is the glory of the Olympics. However, Clark has shown that she is the system, by allegedly leaving the setup of the national team. For the next 4 years, leading up to the Olympics in Los Angeles, she robs them of their most valuable marketing tool. The commissioner is left to bear the brunt of an impending financial catastrophe. For LA 2028, they required her image on the billboards. They are attempting to offer a product that the new, enormous audience isn't buying without her. Let's examine the numbers because, should Clark truly leave, they present a harsh picture of the league. Prior to her arrival, the WNBA was attempting to make money by playing in half-empty arenas and flying commercial. League-wide attendance has increased by more than 40% since she was drafted. The league signed a historic media rights deal worth over $2 billion, and TV ratings have risen. All of the veterans now enjoy better travel circumstances and higher salaries thanks to that money. The irony is oppressive. She is being treated like an outsider by the league administration and the veterans. Nevertheless, they are all cashing the checks written by her fame. She is essentially taking her ball and leaving the national team to rely on the elderly guard, who just do not move the needle in the same way if she decides to concentrate solely on the Indiana Fever and disregard the global responsibilities of Team USA. To understand why Clark would make such an extreme choice, the particular contact with the commissioner needs to be thoroughly examined. Angelbert shifted to a corporate narrative regarding rivals when questioned about the negative aspects of social media conversations, such as racism, misogyny, and threats. She attempted to compare it to the intense NBA match between the eights. Even while the confrontations were physical, they didn't include the kind of poisoning that exists today. The commissioner gave the impression that the league was complicit by failing to establish a boundary. She seemed to be saying, "We don't care how they treat you as long as people are watching." That must have felt like a dagger in the back for a young player like Clark, who has been quiet and composed throughout. It confirmed every conspiracy theory that the league secretly despises her success while utilizing her for influence. Not to mention the reason she was excluded from the Olympic team due to chemistry. The selecting committee stated that they were short on time to include her into the system. They said that her fast-paced, high-usage, deep shooting style of play would not mesh well with the veterans' deliberate, sluggish style. However, anyone who saw the WNBA All-Star Game could see how absurd that claim was. Clark and the other WNBA players played against Team USA in that game, and they cleaned the floor with the Olympic team. Clark was hitting shots, dropping dimes, and quickly improving her teammates. It demonstrated that the chemical problem had nothing to do with basketball. It has to do with ego. The players on the USA team appeared sluggish and disorganized. In contrast, Clark's group appeared to be the way of the future. The quit tale changed from a rumor to a plausible scenario during the game. Why would she want to participate in a system that purposefully bets against her playing style? The Sheryl Swoopes factor is another. The legendary WNBA player has been one of Clark's most outspoken detractors, continuously redefining what constitutes genius. Swoopes has been the voice of the unhappiness of the older generation, from downplaying Clark's records to falsely claiming that she played for 5 years in college. Nevertheless, the league has been using her for analysis and commentary.